Our inductee in the contributor category is Gary Smith of Minneapolis. Smith is the first athletic trainer to be inducted into the league's Hall of Fame. He is one of the pioneers in athletic training and has provided service to member schools and has worked league state tournament events for more than 40 years. For the past 25 years, he has been the head athletic trainer at Eden Prairie High School.
Well, in this gymnasium that we're in, we put the state championship banners up. I'll just kind of reminisce and I'll look at how many years we did this and that and everything. And the other day, one day I counted that I've been here for 78 state championships. I think I remember players because some of them, they come back periodically. And we've always had really good kids, good families at Eden Prairie. And the coaches have always been wonderful to me. And that's why I think I've had a lot of jobs, and this is probably the best job I've ever had.
Longtime Eden Prairie football coach and activities director Mike Grant knows just how lucky his school district is to have Smith behind the scenes, working so diligently and tenaciously to provide student participants with athletic services.
It's great confidence that you know you have the best trainer in the state handling your kids, any injuries they may have, getting them back into play, all the psychology that you need to have as a trainer. We've got the best there is. So there's that side. On a personal side, he's, a good friend. From our kids' point of view, you've got to remember now, those incoming freshmen, they don't know the legend that he is. They don't know that. So they see this old, kind of grumpy old man, that they see, and they don't quite know how to take him, They don't know that his heart, is so soft, but he'll give them the, hey, get away from there type thing. He'll scare the crap out of some of these kids. But the kids learn to really trust him and know that he's doing what's best for them, not only health-wise, but also as a player.
Smith, a native of Cedar Falls, Iowa, received his undergraduate degree in 1967 from State College of Iowa, which is now known as the University of Northern Iowa. 6 years later, he earned his master's degree from the University of Minnesota. While serving as an athletic trainer with the Bettendorf Public Schools in Iowa, he read on a blackboard about a job opening at the University of Minnesota. One of the key factors in obtaining an interview was his willingness to pay his way to Minneapolis.
I enjoyed the players. I really enjoyed the kids that I worked with. We had a lot of coaches go through and a lot of sports there. And the guy that really took me under his wing and I became a confidant of him and worked closely was Herbie Brooks. And Herbie was notorious for playing with the athletes' minds to try to get them to perform better. And he would go after somebody, sending a message to the whole team. And then the next minute he was back to being Herbie and wanting me to know and keep an eye on somebody to see if it was too much or something like that. But he was a great coach, and him and I hit it off really quite well.
Smith hit it off well with players too.
Well, I was a greenhorn. I was a freshman coming into the U, and they had just won the NCAA title. And I didn't, I was wet behind the ears, and Smitty just kind of took me under his wing. He took all of us under his wing, and Herbie wasn't easy to play for, so he kind of would work he'd come between us a little bit, and he would try to soften Herbie up if Herbie got tough on us a little bit, and he was an advocate for not just for me, but for all the guys. Well, he's like a mother hen. He just took care of us.
Smith, Brooks, and McClanahan became part of an incredible journey that galvanized the nation when the U.S. Olympic hockey team became the famed Miracle on Ice squad that won the gold medal at the 1980 Lake Placid Olympics. Brooks was the head coach, Smith was the head athletic trainer, and McClanahan was one of 13 Minnesota-born players on the roster.
When we went ahead of the Russians in the semifinal, there was a 10 minutes that was the longest 10 minutes of my life. And we hung on and beat the Russians. And Herbie this was the player's moment. And he exited the bench stage left. And I left the bench and did not go on the ice. And went into the locker room, and it was quiet. And then I heard something back in the corner, and Herbie was back there, and he looked at me and he said, "What the hell did we do?" I mean, I feel very proud of that team because it was it was like Eden Prairie High School going and playing the Vikings and beating them.
Grant says it is important that Eden Prairie students know the treasure they have in Smith.
We try every once in a while to show that old 1980 Miracle on Ice, that shot when they beat the Russians, and they flash to the bench and Herbie, but Gary's there in his black hair and glasses, thick glasses, and we point out to the kids, that's, you know, your trainer there, that's way back then. They just see him, literally, they see him as Schmitty. They probably don't even know his first name. They just know him as Schmitty, and the guy that takes care of us, keeps us safe, and gets us back.
Through the long hours and seasons, the efforts and the service are worth it. Part of his payback, Smith says, are the memories and seeing students succeed.
I have kids now that I sometimes have to kick out after a little while because they just want to come in and schmooze. And I've had kids come back to just to sit and listen to me send some words of wisdom to some freshmen. I mean, we're all teachers and we're all learning, and you'll never stop learning. And I hope it's just they remember me with a positive, Smitty was always there for us.
20-some years at one place with us, that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. I have no doubt Gary could have taken other jobs. There's no doubt, as good a trainer as he is, that he could have moved on and taken jobs at colleges or whatever, but for whatever reason, he's chosen to stay here at Eden Prairie, and we're certainly lucky to have him. Him and I will hang in as long as we can, and we'll see if we can keep going a few more years.